Welcome to another Route Pros vlog. I'm James Peuster of the Route Pros, and today we're going to talk about leadership, but with a twist. I'm going to go ahead and default to two great 21st century philosophers. Yes, I'm going to listen to Simon Sinek and the great Michael Scott from The Office. So stay tuned. If you are looking to be a leader, if you are a leader, or you're looking to develop a leader, you don't want to miss this vlog.
Listen, a little birdie told me that your boss is exactly like Michael Scott. That's right. So I feel very, very badly for you. He probably is not very good at showing his appreciation for how hard you're working, how difficult these COVID-19 times are. Well, I personally want to tell you, you're doing awesome. That's right. You're doing incredible. Keep up the hard work. In short, you rock, Kayla. That's it. I just wanted you to know that you are appreciated. Oh, and James is the birdie that told me. So maybe he's not so bad after all.
Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me.
We know that leaders come in all shapes and sizes, and not just in business. But what actually makes a great leader, and how can we become one? Surprisingly, the answer to this lies with Michael Scott from The Office. Well, now, despite the fact Michael is usually regarded as fairly childish and a time waster, Michael is undeniably people-focused, and this is a fundamental difference between a standard boss and someone who actually leads.
People will never be replaced by machines. In the end, life and business are about human connections. And computers are about trying to murder you in a lake.
For a start, he views his staff as more like family than employees, and genuinely sees potential in all of them.
You think Stanleys grow on trees? Well, they don't. There is no Stanley tree. You think the world is crawling with Phyllis's? Show me that farm. With Phyllis's and Kevin's sprouting up all over the place, ripe for the plucking.
For example, there are plenty of times he could have fired Dwight, but he believes in him and supports his uniqueness.
Look, this is a very serious offense. We have cause to fire you.
Can you shut down?
Instead,
Shut down, please.
what I think we should do is strip you of your title as safety officer.
No.
It's clear Michael genuinely cares about his staff, and I'm sure a lot of people can't say that about their manager. Well, he cares about almost all of them.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
But what pushes him further into the leader category is that Michael also puts himself on the front line and is always trying to inspire others.
And I'd like to start today by inspiring you.
Sure, it doesn't always work, but he's constantly trying innovative methods and actually attempting to motivate people in a fun and interesting way, rather than being a demanding, behind-the-scenes boss only obsessed with targets. Instead, Michael wants to have an active role in helping the team succeed, and he gives deserved recognition to others too.
You know, an employee will go home and he'll tell his neighbor, hey, did you get an award? And the neighbor will say, no, man. I mean, I slave all day. Nobody notices me. Next thing you know, employee smells something terrible coming from the neighbor's house. Neighbor's hanged himself. due to lack of recognition.
As a result of all this, his branch performances are actually pretty great, and although he can't really pinpoint why, his creativity and unorthodox approach seems to be the key factor. Whilst other branches are simply doing the same things they've always done and expecting better results, Michael is often challenging the norm and thinking of new ideas. Whereas, almost all of the other managers in the show really struggle. Many of them try to implement much more bureaucratic or micromanagement styles, but Michael was the one that trusted his employees and was usually pretty honest with them, and that enabled them to thrive.
Another option! Another option! Jeez! Okay, settle down, everyone! No.
Say bandit!
Yeah, well, most of the time. And so, although Michael obviously has a lot of flaws, he actually embodies all of the characteristics written about in leadership theories. And that's why to lead people, whether in business or in everyday life, maybe we should all be a little more like Michael Scott.
Well, I know that was a little silly, but I hoped you enjoyed it. I started it off with Kevin from The Office. That was one of those cameos I did for Kayla. During COVID, she worked extremely hard. We were having to get creative. We were trying to stay positive. And she really raised the bar of leadership. She kind of found out that when the chips were down, she was able to go all in, and she was able to kind of develop the leader within, if I can put it that way. The narrator of the Office snippets there had really a lot of takeaways, and he had a lot of me rapid fired at the end. But I'm going to mention the 5 that I think that stand out the most. One, people focused, person focused, he called it. And I believe you should be. A lot of times we talk about the process and the people and the perform, all that stuff, you do all the P's. But really, it should be about the people. A lot of times we have an excellent process in place, but we plug and play the wrong people. That's where the disc profiles come in. Number 2, he's inspirational. He does have a desire to inspire, even though sometimes it doesn't quite work and it kind of backfires on him sometimes. If we really want to inspire, that's where a lot of times mentorship comes in as well. Number 3, positive. I mean, we talk about that all the time. I say this whenever I'm working with anybody, whether it's an owner or a manager, is that you want your people to succeed. You need to expect them to succeed. A lot of times we expect them to fail and we look for failure, and guess what? We succeed in their failure because we draw that out. Number 4, he's loyal. He is loyal to the cause. He's loyal to his team. And yes, sometimes it's self-motivated, selfish in a way, but he is loyal. And number 5, and I think this is the most important part, committed. He is committed to the success of the company in any shape or form. And again, the results aren't always there, but deep down, you should be committed to your team, committed to the cause. I think armchair leadership sometimes, or when you're just sitting behind a desk, just doesn't work anymore. So those are my top 5 takeaways from that. Now I'm going to kick it over to somebody that I think is an excellent speaker. I enjoy watching a lot of his talks, and this one's kind of unique, and it kind of comes from a different angle. You may get lost at first, but I just challenge you to stay with it because there's a great ending to his story.
Do you love your wife? Yes. Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, you didn't love her. Now you love her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question. But it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? Leadership is the same thing. It's about transition. So if you were to go to the gym, it's like exercise, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit. Right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, like in a relationship, I bought her flowers and I wished her happy birthday, and she doesn't love me. Clearly I'll give up. That's not what happens. If you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two. It allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency, right? You go to the dentist twice a year, your teeth will fall out. You have to brush your teeth every day for 2 minutes. What does brushing your teeth twice a day for 2 minutes do? Nothing. unless you do it every day, twice a day for 2 minutes. Right? It's the consistency. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. So the problem is we treat leadership with intensity. We have a 2-day offsite, we invite a bunch of speakers, we give everybody a certificate, you're a leader, right? Those things are like going to the dentist. They're very important, they're good for reminding us or getting us back on track, learning new lessons, but it's the daily practice of all the monotonous, little, boring things like brushing your teeth that matter the most. She didn't fall in love with you because you remembered her birthday and bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. She fell in love with you because when you woke up in the morning, you said good morning to her before you checked your phone. She fell in love with you because when you went to the fridge to get yourself a drink, you got her one without even asking. She fell in love with you because when you had an amazing day at work and she came home and she had a terrible day at work, you didn't say, yeah, but let me tell you about my day. Right. You sat and listened to her awful day and you didn't say a thing about your amazing day. This is why she fell in love with you. I can't tell you exactly what day, and it was no particular thing you did. It was the accumulation of all of those little things that she woke up one day and as if she pressed a button, she goes, I love him, right? Leadership is exactly the same. There's no event. There's no thing I can tell you you have to do that your people will trust you. It just doesn't work that way. It's an accumulation of lots and lots of little things that anyone by themselves is innocuous and useless. Literally, pointless by themselves. People will look at little things that are good leadership practices and say, that won't work, and you're absolutely right. But if you do it consistently, and you do it in combination with lots of other little things, like saying good morning to someone, that looking them in the eye. My friend George, who's a 3-star general in the Marine Corps, he says his test for leadership, and I love this, he goes, his test for a good leader is if you ask somebody how their day is going, you actually care about the answer. The number of times we're walking to a meeting, we're rushing, we go, how are you? Not good, I gotta get to you later, I'm late for a meeting. Right. If you ask the question, you were standing there and you were listening to the answer. It's those little innocuous things that you do over and over and over and over that people will say, I love my job. Not I like my job. I like my job means, yeah, the challenge is great, they pay me well, I like the people. I love my job means, I don't want to work anywhere else. I don't care how much somebody else is willing to pay me. I'm devoted to the people here, and I care desperately about the people here as if they were my family. In business, we have colleagues and coworkers. In the military, they have brothers and sisters. That's how they think of each other. If you really have a strong corporate culture, the people will think of each other like brothers and sisters. It's like a family, right? No. Brothers and sisters. Deep love. Fight, but the love doesn't go away. Bicker, the love doesn't go away. And I'll fight with my sister, but if you threaten my sister, you're gonna have to deal with me, right? We'll fight internally, we'll bicker with each other, but nobody's gonna hurt each other, and if anything from the outside shows up, you're looking at a unified front. Brothers and sisters. Now, how do you create brothers and sisters out of strangers? Common beliefs, common values, parents, in other words, executives who care about their children's success, who care to raise their children, teach them skills, discipline them when necessary, help them build their self-confidence so that they can go on and achieve something more than you could have ever imagined achieving for yourself. That's leadership.
Because we spend more time at work than sometimes we even spend at home in our waking hours, I think what Simon said was really kind of cool because, again, it's more than just a family and the brothers and sisters line. And, one of the things that I've always conveyed to our Route Pro members is that, you do treat your employees sometimes like children, but in a positive way. This is where we talk about accountability. You balance accountability and motivation. And, when your child does something wrong, you do have to kind of reprimand them, but with the goal of them getting better at whatever that is, or, to prevent a bad habit. And so my bottom line kind of recap using these two videos is that, again, it still goes back to the people. I can't remember, I think it's in the book, Developing the Leader Within, that where, if you're just a leader but nobody's following you, you're just taking a walk by yourself. You've got to learn to get them to buy in. I like how Simon said, build their self-confidence. Man, how many times do we all fail in that regard where we kind of neglect that one thing that we're trying to do? We're trying to turn potential into performance. And if we can build their self-confidence, no matter what the position is, they can take it to the next level, which thus together as a team grows the company, which in turn grows your leadership, which in turn builds profit. So bottom line is those that struggle in leadership, I challenge you. You can read 1,000,000 books, you can watch 1,000,000 videos, but look deep down in yourself and see if, again, the bottom line is, am I expecting my people to succeed or am I expecting them to fail? That's probably the best litmus test you could take in less than 10 seconds. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If there's any other vlogs you'd like us to do, check them out. If not, if you've not caught up, we've got over 40 of them on our YouTube channel. Good luck and happy selling.